Everyone, welcome back to Excel Learn. In this video, you will be going to learn how to create pivot tables and slices on multiple worksheets. So for this, to achieve this task, we'll be using a new other feature of the Excel called data models. So quickly jumping on to the sample data sets that I'll be considering here to explain this technique. I'll have a credit card transaction details of customers in this transaction data worksheet where you'll have a client numbers, the transaction amount, transaction counts. And in another worksheet called customer data, I'll have the client numbers and the details such as customer age, gender, education, marital status, income category, etc. So in such scenarios where you have data split into two worksheets and have a common link between the two worksheets. Here, for this example, the common link between the two data sets that you see here is the client number. You have the client number in the transaction data as well as the client number in the customer data. So now you would like to have a common pivot table across the two worksheets and a common slicer to control based on any of the parameters, be it the gender, the education level, or any of the customer biodata. So to start with, we'll start creating the data models. So as a first step, we'll create a data model for the transaction data worksheet that we have. So just select the data that you have in the transaction data worksheet and click on insert and click on pivot table. So till now it's the regular steps that you do, but here's a change that you have to use for this data model approach. On the bottom of this window you see an option to click on add this data to the data model. So once you click on this and click OK, so it'll take more time than usual. You create a pivot table. So here you can see a data model is created, and for this data set the name is given as range. So we'll add a second worksheet data into the same data model. So again, go to the customer data worksheet, select the data, click on insert pivot, and again here add this data to the data model and click on OK. So go back to the initial pivot table that you created. Here you have one on the pivot table fields window on the right. You get to see one more option called all, which will show you all the data sets added to this data model. So once you expand, you can clearly see both the data fields from both the worksheets. So before starting to use this data model pivot, you need to create the relation between these two worksheets. And as we discussed earlier, the common link between these two data sets is the client number. So how to create the relationship between these two worksheets? So on the top, go to pivot table analysis in the menu bar and click on relationships. So click on new relationship. So you'll in the drop down here you'll get to see both the range data model tables created. Click on one of the table here and the second table here. Click the common field in both the data sets and click on OK. And click on close. And if you want to see the diametrical representation of the model that you just created, on the top you have another menu called Power Pivot. Just go to that and click on Manage So here you have an option to see a diagram view of the model that you just created. So it's the range, that is the first data tab that you created, and the relationship that you just made between these two data sets, which is being linked using client number. So similarly, if you have multiple data worksheets, it's not just the two worksheets that you can connect with each other. If you have a common link of the data field, even with multiple worksheets, you can keep adding multiple worksheets to the same data model. So now we'll start creating the pivot table. So as we know, we have the transaction amount details in the transaction data. However, we have the customer details in the customer data tab. So we'll try to create a pivot table based on the customer gender and the amount of transactions done, which is in the first data web. So this will automatically link both the datas based on the client ID and give you the desired results. And adding a pivot slicer to it is pretty simple and straightforward. Go to the insert tab, click on the slicers. So you can, since we have already created the pivot table, you'll get to see, and which is already related to each other, connected to each other. You can see both the tables here, else you can use the all tab on the top. So here we'll try to use the education level slicer. So as and when you click on the desired education level, the data, the respective data will be reflecting here. So this is how you can create a common slicer and a common pivot table across multiple worksheets using the data models. So hope you like this video and the new technique that you learned today. To be updated, if you like this video, please click on like and share the video with your friends, and please do click on subscribe and click on the bell icon button to be updated on the latest technique videos I'll be keep uploading in the future. Thank you.